right, let's take a look at section 13.7.3, simple interest. We just get a couple of formulas, basically. Okay. Our objectives are to compute simple interest and future value, compute principal, rate, or time, compute interest using the banker's rule, and to compute the true rate for a discounted loan. Interest is a fee charged for the use of money. Simple interest is a one-time percent of an amount of money. Compound interest is a percentage of an original amount, as well as a percent of the new amount, including previously calculated interest. Interest, denoted with I, is the fee charged for the use of money. Principal P is the amount money borrowed or placed in a savings account. The rate, R, is the percent of the principal paid for having money loaned or earned for investing money. Unless indicated otherwise, rates are given as a percent for 1 year. When doing calculations, we'll always write R in decimal form. Time T, or term, is the length of time that the money is being borrowed or invested. When the rate is given as a percent per year, time has to be written in years. Future value A is the amount of the loan or interest plus the interest paid or earned. So our two formulas are the interest formula and the future value formula. So interest is I equals PRT. So you take the amount of the principal times the rate times the time, and you'll find the interest. The future value is intuitively the amount of interest they're charging you plus the principal. So if you know those individually, you can add them together and find A. Or since I is PRT, then we can factor this P out and have this expression P times 1 plus RT, which then will equal the future amount. So those are our two formulas that we're interested in. And then we have this idea of the banker's rule. So banker's rule treats every month like it has 30 days. So it uses 360 days in a year instead of 365. They claim that the computations are easier to do. And they are, right? So let's see. And then at the end of this example, they do one with the 365. They do one with the 360. The banker's rule results in higher interest being charged. And then the last statement is we can see why this is called the banker's rule and not the customer's rule, because it's in the bank's favor. And then the last slide here before we do the exercises is about these discounted loans. So sometimes the interest on a loan is paid up front by deducting the amount of the interest from the amount the bank gives you. This type of loan is called a discounted loan. The interest that is deducted from the amount you receive is called the discount. Okay. Now let's look at the exercises. Okay, so on number 1 here, they want us to find the missing value, which is P. So they're asking us to use the I equals PRT formula. So I equals PRT, where we have an unknown amount for P. The rate in decimal form is 0.08. The time is 6. And I here is the 74.40. So we have that 74.40 is P times 0.08 times 6. So P is 74.40 divided by 6 times 0.08, which is 0.48. So the original principal is 155. The principal should be more than the interest because you're paying a small amount of interest on the amount of money you're borrowing. Number 2 is also a simple, well, no, well, it's simple interest, but it's using the banker's rule. So our time is going to be 105 days over 160 days. That's going to tell us how many or what fraction of a year we have here. Our rate in decimal form is 0.092. And then they just want us to find the interest. So I equals P times R times T, which gives me $48 and 30 cents. So this part is what makes it the bankers. Number 3, they want us to find I, and they give us the P, the R, and the T. So 2.5 years is 2.5. 6.33 interest rate is 0.0633 in decimal form. So I equals PRT is just to multiply the 8,000 times 0.0633 times 2.5. And this gives me 1,266. It's pretty straightforward on that one. I equals PRT, simple interest. Okay, for 4, find the missing value, time, and round your answer to the nearest year. So it is I equals PRT because it's simple interest that they've given us with this 148,800. And we know P to be 400,000. We know R to be 0.062. What we don't know is T. So T is 148,800 divided by the product of 400,000 and 0.062. Okay, and that gives me 24800, which is actually 6. So it took 6 years this loan or to earn this interest. The future value of the loan. Future value, so we're using a new formula. We're using the I, not the I. Let me get situated first. Okay, so A equals P times 1 plus RT, usually. And they give us P, R, and T. So I'll just plug it in. 1150 times 1 plus 0.0332 times 4. And that gives me a value of 1302.72. So the future value of the loan, the amount we borrowed plus the amount of interest, is going to be 1,300 versus 1,150, right? So we borrow this, but we actually have to pay back all of this. Okay, for number 6, banker's rule. They only ever ask us to find I equals PRT, or we use that formula for the banker's rule. And then T is always number of days divided by 360. All right, so T in terms of time, then we have 7,000, 1, 2, 3, times rate, 0.051, times time, which is 90, divided by 360. For number 6, I get $89.25. So the interest on a loan using the banker's rule is $89.25. The following loan is discounted. Find the discount, the amount of money received, and the true interest rate. Okay, so the discount is I. So I equals PRT. That's 1750 times 0.04 times 8. And then we get $560. That $560 is coming off of P. So we wanted to borrow the 1750, but they're going to take 560 as a discount, which is the interest. And so they're actually only going to give us $1,190. So that's B. A is the discount. B is the amount after the discount. And then they want to know the true interest rate. So let me scroll this down a little. The true interest rate, see here, is to use your I equals PRT. And I is the result of A. Your new P, which is like your discounted P, is, oh, yeah, I think that's fine. It's just, I regret we have 2 P's now, which is weird, but we use the result from B. We're trying to find R, and then T is still 8. Okay, so R is 560 divided by 1190 times 8. 60 divided by 9,520. That gave me 0.0588. And then you have to turn it back to a percent, right? So the percent location is that second one in the hundredths place. So it's 5.88%. And then that's your answer for part C. So this one, I was from part A. This B here, this P here was from part B. And then time was still the one that we had used before. Okay, let me clear that for us. Move on to number 8. We're halfway done, right? So that's pretty good. All right, so assume that all interest is simple. Check. In addition to working and a family contribution, Jane had to borrow $5,500 over the course of 7 years to complete a degree. The interest was $2,833.60. Find the rate. Round to 2 decimal places if necessary. So Jane borrowed over time, and the interest was. So it looks like we just have I equals PRT here, and we're going to solve for R. So 2833.60 is 5,500 times some amount times 7. So R is 2833.60 divided by the product of 7 and 5,500, which is 38500 equals 0.0736, which is 7.36%. So they said they were giving us, what was the, oh, I thought we were doing the true interest rate. We should compare the true interest rate on the number 7, right? This one was just straight interest rate. On number 7, they claimed they were giving us a 4% interest rate, but with that discount, it's actually almost a 6% interest rate. Okay, so let's look at number 9. To take advantage of a going out of business sale, the College Corner furniture store had to borrow some money. It paid back a total of $180,000 on a 9-month loan at 11%. Find the principal, round to the nearest cent. Okay, so if you have to pay back a total, that's A. 9 months is like 0.75 of a year, right? It's 3/4 of a year. R is 0.11. They want us to find P. Okay, so A equals P times 1 plus RT. That gives us 180,000 equals an unknown quantity P times 1 plus 0.11 times 0.75, parenthesis close. So P is going to be 180,000 divided by the amount that is 1 plus 0.75 times 0.11, right? And that turns out to be 1.0825 that we're dividing by, which gives me a result of 16,628. Oh wait, I had to get the comma in the wrong spot. So Poy's fourth step said, why is it only 16,000? It's not, it's 166,000. Okay, so we're gonna borrow $166,281.76, but we're gonna end up having to pay back $180,000. We hit clear on this one. And then number 10, we've got to train employees on new equipment. Williams muffler repair had to borrow 6,000 at 5.5%, which is 0.055. The company paid $1,320 in interest. Find the term of the loan. So what is T is what they're asking us here. Okay, so 1320 was I, and we borrowed P. So I equals PRT is 1320 equals to 6,000 times 0.055 times some mystery quantity T. So T is 1320 divided by the product of 6,000 and 0.055, which is 330. And then that division yields 4. So 4 years is the term of the loan. For number 11, Martin wants to buy a new bedroom set that costs $1,794, including tax. Fortunately, he doesn't have the money, so he's going to borrow it. So he secures a 2-year loan from a furniture store at 13% interest, which is an interest rate, 0.13, to be repaid in 24 equal monthly installments. Find the monthly payment, round your answer, round your intermediate steps to the nearest cent. Should leave that one, but let's go. So the monthly payment, A over N. So you're going to take the future amount and divide by the number of payments that you're making, right? And then that gives us P times 1 plus RT as our numerator, because that's our future amount, and then N as our denominator. So 1794 times 1 plus 0.13 times 2 divided by 24 months. So the future amount, oh, I just plugged it in at that point. Okay, so I put that into the calculator and got 94.19 per month. I didn't round any intermediate steps. I just put it all in the calculator. That's where I was like, I don't know about that. Month. Now 12, we have interest rate. So businesses that offer repayment plans for purchases are required by law to disclose the interest rate, but that doesn't mean they go out of their way to let you know what that is. You have to read all the paperwork. Find the interest rate for the following purchase. To finance a new laptop, Emily has offered a 3-year payment plan. So T equals 3 means there's 36 months with low monthly payments of, so that value there is what we call A over N. So just that's the left-hand side of the equation. The cost of the laptop was P $884.55 after tax, round to one decimal place if needed. Okay, so we have here A over N is P times 1 plus RT over N. So the A over N side is 31.50. And then our other side is A4.55 times 1 plus, and it is R that we're looking for. So we'll just leave R there, times 3. And then we'll divide by 36. Okay, so I did this a little slower than the last one because the R is a little nested, right? So first I multiply both sides by 36, and I got 1134 is that numerator still. Crowding myself because I'm running out of room. I don't want to erase it. And then I tried to remove everything from R. So R is 1134 divided by, try to match my notation, a 4.55. So first I divided that off. Then I subtracted the 1 from both sides. And then I divided the quantity by 3. So I just stripped everything off of one side until I isolated R, which gave me this expression. And then in the calculator, I got 0.094, but this is an interest rate, so 9.4%. And there's your cent location. So that one took a little peeling to get to it. All right, number 13, the University Center obtained 18,000 discounted and 18,000 discounted loan for 7 years to remodel the student game room. The rate was 7%. Find the discount. So the discount is I equals PRT. P is 1,800. R is 0.07. And T is 7. And when I stick this in the calculator, I get 8,820. And that's the discount. The discount's coming off of the loan amount. So the University Center is only actually going to receive $9,180. And then they want to know the true interest. So the result of A, the result of B, right? So in I equals PRT, just like before, we're going to use the result from A and the result from B. So A is 8,820 is equal to 9,180 times the mystery quantity R times T, which was 7 years. So R, in fact, is 8,820 divided by 7 times 9,180, which is 64260. And that gave me 0.137, which is 13%. It's actually 13.7%. So you have to find your cent location to find your percent. And then that's part C. So what's the discount? What's the amount you actually received, removing the discount? And then what's the actual interest? So here they claim it's 7, but we're actually paying 13.7. Okay, last problem. You're almost there, and it's banker's rule again. So we just have to remind ourselves to use the 180 divided by 360. So I equals PRT. So he's asking us about interest with the banker's rule. That is 400 times 0.03 for your interest rate. And then your time is 180 divided by 360, which is actually half, right? So I put it in a couple times because this amount seemed really low to me, but it's the answer. But I mean, $6 on $400, that's okay, right? I would do it. Okay, let's see, let me clear this out. I will be back on Thursday. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, have a great day. Thank you.